Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter.
We are discussing American Idol Season 18 in this video, and we're really kind of done with a lot of the competition part of the season. We don't know when the next phase is going to start. We have like these This Is Me specials that are coming, but nobody's getting eliminated on those.
No, everything's a little bit up in the air right now.
So what we thought we would do while we're all kind of in this bizarre holding pattern is go through and give you our own top 5 for the season, and luckily we both agree on this. And
normally we've done other sort of top 5s or top 10s with like AGT and voice and all kinds of other stuff, and we don't always agree on stuff, but here we actually did. It's a miracle, folks.
Yeah. And so with that in mind, we're going to go through these 5 people and talk about what makes them special, what could make them go fairly far into competition, their upside. I think this will be fun. And of course, along the way, if you agree or disagree, because let's face it, the odds are pretty low you have the same 5 people in the same order, but
yeah, and we want to know who you think is your top 5, let us know.
Yeah, and if you do like this discussion, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. Alright, we'll start with number 5, because we have to build up the drama a little bit here.
That's right, to our number 1.
Alright, as though people are going to be that surprised. But okay, number 5...
You never know.
They might be. You might be. Number 5 is Kimmy Gabriela, and I think Kimmy has one of the biggest upsides of everyone on the show right now. Her biggest, I guess, moment in the edit is the Katy Perry saying you have to be more than just a good singer sort of monologue she delivered, which...
Yeah, basically being like, you have a good voice, but you're invisible, which I do not agree with at all.
I don't agree with Katy, and it's not... I think Katy does have really good advice sometimes, but just because I have found Kimmy to have a big personality. I think she's fun. I think she is somebody who still does have a ways to go, and maybe this is Katy sort of recognizing that and pushing her, because I think she could really be one of the best singers of this entire group, and she's got a musical background. She's been around music. I think she's comfortable performing, and I just think people are really gonna like her. I think they're going to relate to her. I think she's infectious, and I think she's just gonna be somebody who people want to see on the screen because she makes them want to root for her.
Oh, she's easy to root for. She's just so genuine. Her voice is so gorgeous. Her personality to me is just someone that's very relatable to a wide array of people, and I think that is what sort of makes her that standout, because a lot of people this season, it does feel like, you're going to really like this person if you're kind of into this, like, that kind of feeling. But Kimmy just feels like she reaches a huge amount of people.
Yeah, I think she's got a lot of potential to make it really far. I mean, I think for her, it's going to be about, she's going to have to sort of raise her game every single time, because people are going to have sort of Katy's monologue stored away. That is kind of the drawback of having something like that on the show, but I think she's more than capable of making it super far.
I really hope so. I mean, stuff like that always gets kind of stuck in people's heads, where it's like, oh yeah, well, Katy did say this, and almost like, it's not exactly like, but I mean, we just saw AGT champion Simon made a comment about somebody on there, and then all of a sudden they went from the whole season, everybody's like, oh, this guy's number one to number 4. So after that comment, it kind of changed stuff. It's not the exact same type of comment, but I really hope it's not going to get stuck with anybody.
All right, so let's move on then to number 4.
Okay, number 4, we're going to be talking about Dillon James, who is somebody that I see 100% in the top 5. I could see him winning the show. He is somebody who's just, again, that feeling of people can really relate to him. He's got a very relatable story. He also has I had a really hard struggle, and now I'm out of it, and now I'm here. Man, there are so many people that can relate to that. He's got a great voice, good-looking guy. He's singing songs that people can really kind of feel nostalgic about. I just think he's a whole package.
I think one of the common threads that exists with everyone who is in our top 4 is that they don't all have the same exact story by any means, but I feel like the show has invested time in all of these people, giving us a chance to get to know sort of who they are and where they come from, and I think that's really important for a show like this, that you need time to sort of understand a point of view, because when Dillon sings, I think you hear a lot of that point of view, and he feels like he has a soul that can actually do a Bob Dylan song, that he could do something that's sort of country or folk, and I think he's just got a vibe about him that feels like he is both an old soul and also someone who is capable of sort of relating to younger people as well. And I think he's going to be very, very versatile. And I think you need that on Idol, because every now and then they will throw these themes at you and you can't just falter because it's something that is quote unquote outside your genre. You have to be able to adapt.
Yeah, out of the people that we have in our top 5, and obviously we'll get to everybody, to me, he is the person that is the most versatile, that if they want him to do country, he'll be able to do it. They want a Bob Dylan, he can do that. I think he can even do some pop type stuff that's maybe sort of medium tone, not like necessarily like Katy Perry. It's like, but somewhere kind of in the middle. I think that's where we'll be with him. And I think because of that, he's going to go far, because this competition does want you to change it up and adapt.
I really hope Katy Perry now puts under all of her genres, because that would be perfect.
Listen, I can't sing any Katy Perry on here. We're going to get demonetized.
This is true. We come up with our own forms of musical expression. That's right. Okay, well, number 3 is...
I'm sorry, Katy.
She will understand. I think we have all heard Katy's music. All right, number 3 is Just Sam. And I just think her story is incredible, but it's not just about her story. It is about that she is really, really unique and really, really memorable. And there are people who I don't think could get away with calling themselves, I'm Just Sam, because I think with certain people it could come across as kind of pretentious, as kind of like, oh, it's just a stage name. But actually, it really does suit her well. I think it suits her style. I think it suits her backstory and where she comes from, and I've loved everything that she's done. But with that being said, her Hawaii performance, it blew me away, because it was so different than anything that she'd done. She had just such an energy about her that was so fun, so invigorating. I think that was like the best word for it. I'm so excited now for what risks she's gonna take moving forward.
Yeah, that was a really big risk. I mean, it was something I never expected from her. It was such a great performance. I mean, you even saw the judges. Katy Perry's mouth was just like... And so was I at home when I saw that performance. It will stick with me through this whole competition. I mean, she has set the bar really high for herself, that now we're kind of like, oh, what is she going to do next? And because her bar is so high, it's going to be hard for her to get even higher than that. But because her bar is so high, if she even stays at this level, this is going to be a competition that's going to be hard for her to lose.
And I think if she doesn't make it to the top 5 or top 4...
I don't know what's going on if she's not in the top 5 or 4, honest to God. I don't know.
I will be really, really stunned, because I do think she can do almost anything. And I think she probably will have some risks that aren't, as popular as some other things that she'll do, but I'm going to appreciate that, because I would rather have someone who takes risks than somebody who is going to come out and just sort of pluck 5 songs out of the American Idol generic handbook and then do those week after week. And I am talking, of course, about I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston.
Oh, I thought you were talking about The Greatest Showman. We were going into that bucket.
The Greatest Showman is also, it is very quickly moved into that. The entire movie, not just This Is Me, every single one of them. It's too much. Okay,
now we're moving on to number 2, and that is Francisco Martin. I love him, and it's everything about him. You said it perfectly, which is that everybody that's here has been given us these amazing backstories about them, and every person's backstory is very different. for me, Francisco is somebody that, I've said this before, I'll say it again till the end of all of these American Idol videos. He's someone that I really relate to on a really personal level because of his nervousness, his anxiety issues, trying to get up in front of people and sing and perform. I mean, we were doing YouTube Matt was doing YouTube for a little while, and I would be off the screen speaking because I was having the same sort of anxiety that Francisco had, and it took me a while to get there. And seeing somebody like Francisco, who is so enormously talented, get over those feelings, get on stage. That last performance of his is absolutely my most favorite performance of his. He is getting a little more confident. He's finding a way to put those nerves down, and his performances are continuing to show that.
Yeah, I'll admit I was nervous about Francisco's chances kind of early on because I thought he was this insanely talented guy, but I was kind of like, okay, is he going to let the nerves get the best of him? Is it going to of overtake, what he does as a performer? But he has sort of gotten better and better and stronger. I think he fed off the energy in Hawaii really well, and he was just awesome there.
It was so good.
Yeah, and he's been great in a lot of the performances that we've seen, but we've seen some of the nerves start to fade away a little bit. I think just more reps, the more he does this, the more comfortable he's going to be. But I mean, this is a positioning on just pure talent and potential and musicality. I honestly, I really think he's got it all.
Yeah, I think so too.
But now, without further ado, we bring you the number one person on our list. Who could it be? Who is going to topple everyone atop the metaphorical pyramid? I think that's ample build-up. Okay, it is Arthur Gunn. It couldn't be anyone else. I mean, Arthur...
Oh, no, it couldn't be anyone else. Yeah. Arthur is incredible.
He has been not only phenomenal, but he's been phenomenal every single time that we have seen him. And it's a combination of a lot of different things. I think he's naturally likable. He's got a great energy. He's got an awesome voice. He's got a lot of character. He's got grit. He's got style. He's got musicality.
He's got a great backstory. People really like him. Like, even when he was doing his rendition of Hard to Handle, and even we had the judges being like, wait, don't stop, keep going, let's get a little more going, then you know that this guy is a threat to win everything.
Yeah, and usually someone can't get away with doing the same song twice early on, but he did that CCR song with two different versions, and they each sounded really unique and interesting and stylistic. And then, of course, he comes back with the Bob Marley on this past episode, which I love that song so much, and it just knocked it right out of the park for me. I think right now, if American Idol was over, Arthur would win. I can't say anything for 100% because we don't know how the American public is going to vote. We don't know how people are going to choose their songs. We don't even know how the show is going to work at this point, to be totally honest.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the five people that we're talking about, like we said, there is a lot of backstory that we've been given on these five people. So not only is it just voice, as Katy Perry said, it is also in some ways getting to know people, finding that commonality with people. Like, I find that with Francisco. I also find that with Arthur, because for me, I grew up on that music, and it's just every time he sings something, I'm like, oh man, I love that song. I remember that song. The song is so good. He's so good. Like, you just have those connections with people, and that's, I think, mostly how voting public works. It's, yeah, best singer, but also who do you have a connection with that you're like, yeah, I'd really like to see that person win. The good thing about Arthur is he is singing a catalog of songs that reaches a large audience of people that are going to be watching the show, that are going to have the same nostalgic feeling where I'm like, oh man, I really love, Bob Marley. I really love Bob Dylan. Oh man, CCR. And some of the things that he's doing are just changing up. Have you ever seen The Rain in the way that he did, and making it feel so modern and fresh and new? to me, that also means he is one of the few people that is going to be able to reach not only a more nostalgic audience, but a brand new audience of people that may not know that song as well or may not be that familiar with it, but now it's more modernized, and now it's in a place that people might be like, oh, I'm not really a big, Bob Dylan fan, or I may not know who that is, but now I know this song.
I think in general, he's got that broad-based appeal. He's got the talent. He's got the personality. He's got everything you need. Now, there will obviously be a lot of dark horse contenders. We don't even technically know which one of the country women is going to be voted through.
Yep.
So we'll sort of adjust and we'll look at how everyone does moving forward, depending on whenever it comes back. But rest assured, once we know something more, you will know something more. And for now, let's hear from you guys. Give us your top 5 of American Idol 18 so far. And if you guys do like this video, remember to give us a like, subscribe, and if you want to support us more, check the link in the description to the store, and we'll see you here next time.